Hi there and good evening. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning into one of my broadcasts, my name is Shauna K. Lister. I am the founder of Memorable Essay. I'm also the creator of the IMG Residency Match Application Accelerator. Thank you for joining. So tonight we're just coming out of match day for the 2020 season. Tonight we're going to be talking about some of the things that have worked really well for my clients who participated in match 2020. Many of them who were quite successful in terms of matching, but not only matching, but matching to places in which, or to programs in which they really wanted to match. We're going to talk about some of the things that worked really well for them and basically how you yourself can do some of those things in your own match journey, because you just want to be able to learn from people clearly, who've been successful before. This is going to be specifically as it concerns their match applications, which is the area that we focus on in the IMG Residency Match Application Accelerator, and it's one of the best areas to focus on as a candidate outside of your scores, because it's an area over which you have tremendous control. And so the first area in which, things really stood out for them and people got tons of positive feedback was the thoroughness and specificity of their CV. And so what that means is that sometimes when I see CVs from IMG, they're quite sparse. From IMG clients, they're quite sparse. And when I sit and talk with individuals, there's so much more that they've done than is represented on the CV. And so you really want to take the time to make sure that your CV really captures all of those things that you have done over the years, specifically in medical school, or for those people who've had professional experiences after medical school. You want to make sure that it's really thorough in terms of capturing all of the things that you have achieved. At the same time, you're looking to have a really good level of specificity, and this in particular worked for tons of individuals who were able to have interview conversations that they are sure that their peers did not have, because they had quite specific information that was well received. You want to have a level of specificity where people are able to zoom in on certain things that you have participated in, done, achieved. Even with your interest, you want to be very specific with those things. So not just that you volunteered at different clinics, but what kinds of clinics, right? What kind of cases were you seeing? Not just that you like athletics. What kind of athletics do you like? Do you run a certain distance? Is there a certain kind of sport that you like seeing? But you want this combination of thorough and specific in your CV for it to work for you. The other thing that worked really well for clients and got some really good feedback on that was having engaging personal statements. And so when you write your personal statements, a lot of times people are very caught up on how is the grammar, how is the flow, does it make me sound special? And you want to have grammar, and you want to have flow, and you want to sound special, you want to be memorable. But I always encourage persons to think about your personal statement from the reader's perspective. Is this an engaging reading experience for somebody who is taking their time to read your personal statement as one out of a stack, right? Is this the most engaging personal statement in the stack? And the way that you achieve that, one of the ways that you achieve that is through the power of anecdotes. And this includes anecdotes from your patients. This includes anecdotes from your real life. But you don't just want to pick any anecdote or any story. You really want to pick anecdotes that contribute towards the main message that you have come up with for your personal statement. But at the same time, the anecdotes help to create a really powerful experience. And if you think about yourself just as a person or as a human being, stories are really exciting. They pull you in, they give you something to pay attention to, something to follow. It is engaging. It is so much more engaging than reading something that sounds like a boring list. And so you definitely want to rely on the power of anecdotes in your personal statement. And that has worked really super well for so many of our happy clients this year, with several of them, which is the norm actually, being told that their personal statement was the reason that they were invited to interview. And that is totally possible for you by you focusing on being engaging, by, as I'm saying, harnessing the power of anecdotes. So sit with your anecdotes, sit with all of the stories that you could potentially use, and definitely pick out the ones that are most engaging. The other thing that was really powerful for people in terms of the strength of their application and how that affected their outcomes was their interviews, right? So very polished interviews, very professional interview performances, and you can know the power of the interview performance by your match result, right? So, when it comes to matching, any match is great, but there are also gradations of matches, the kind of programs you can match into, where, how residents are treated at that program. And so when you have a really a really top notch match, you know that you had a really top notch interview performance as well on the trail. And what worked well for individuals in the interview is really having a message that was coherent with whatever they had communicated before in their written application. And you want to have that level of clarity and continuity, because it's really odd when you have written documents that talk about a certain motivation or a certain experience and a certain direction, and then your interview performance says something that is completely different, right? You want to be somebody who is believable by having an interview performance that is consistent with what you wrote in your personal statement. The other reason why these polished and professional interview performances were so helpful is that ultimately you are also being graded, or you are being assessed, although some programs do give a literal numerical grade. You are being assessed on your ability to communicate as a professional in that setting and in other settings where you will find yourself, right? So to be able to communicate in a way that distinguishes you, communicate your motivation for doing the work that you're doing, communicate why you need residency training without melting down under high pressure situations. That also happens a lot as well, just having total meltdowns and not really knowing what to say. So in your best interest, you really want to get out all of the nervousness and all of the awkwardness and all of the confusion. You want to get those things out of your mouth before you actually get to the interview, so that when you get to your interview performance, you're quite professional and you're quite polished, and you're able to perform even under pressure, right? Because it really is, you want to be authentic, but it really is a performance. And so those are the 3 things that worked so well for clients this year. So I wanted to share them with you and for you to be able to apply them to your own application. Of course, I have shared that the IMG Residency Match Application Accelerator is now open. The Early Bird 2 cohort is now open. I'm actually wrapping up with people who started working together in January. So if it's of interest to you to have one-on-one private support, premium support to prepare an application that gives you the best possible odds of matching, just click the link below in the description attached to this video and apply for a free consultation. And I'd love to get to know you. Regardless, make sure that that personal statement is engaging, that your CV is thorough with specific information, tons of specificity, and that your interview performance is polished and it is professional, and that you're quite calm under pressure. So take care. If you're watching live, if you watched live, thank you. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching and share. All right, take care.